Hi guys, it's Jules. I've started this channel called Lived Loved, Liveloved, because it's something that I want to have in my life and I want it to be the theme of my life. I was looking up the definitions of these words. Live, of course, to experience life, to enjoy life, to have a life. And then lived, loved. There were a lot of definitions because we use it in such a variety of ways. But the ones that stood out to me were a deep affection or concern for another person, personal attachment to, investment in. So to live loved is something that I don't currently do. I don't participate in. I don't have affection for myself or deep concern for myself. And that's mainly due to my coping mechanisms that I developed during childhood to survive my childhood. I am the youngest of 12 and it wasn't the happiest of homes. And I developed some really detrimental coping mechanisms as an adult. And one of them is eating, emotional eating. And so 2 years ago, my dad, clarification, my stepfather, who I adopted myself to when I was 18, he's just the most wonderful man. Anyways, such a blessing in my life. So 2 years ago, he was diagnosed with ALS, which is a terminal illness, and it's pretty tough to watch. Basically, your brain tells your muscles they don't get any nutrients anymore. They just cut them off. And so your muscles atrophy, including all of your muscles in your core, every muscle. You have it, it atrophies. And it's really difficult to watch. And I love him so much. Anyways, so about 2 years ago, I started down the path of depression and coping mechanisms, like really participating in those ones that I thought were dormant or I had polished off and cleaned off and didn't really have anymore. No, they came back in force, and I found myself about 6 months after his diagnosis really sad, and I was perusing YouTube, and I ran across this post from Zachary Levi. It was his Nerd HQ Comic-Con panel of celebrities, question and answer kind of jazz, and it was so fun, and I loved it, and I was like, heck, Zachary Levi, I love you as an actor, and I love your work, and I'm gonna really enjoy this. And to add a little tangent here, my brother had told me his experience with Zachary Levi about 10 years before at one of his very first Comic-Cons. My brother was one of his bodyguards. And this story really put like a real damper on my soul, and I was like, oh, but I love Zachary Levi. Deep down. I love Chuck, and I love all these things he's doing. Oh, have you seen Shazam? So good. Anyways, so my brother told me that when he was bodyguard, that Zachary Levi just smoked up a storm, cigarettes, cigars, told the crudest jokes, was really foul, and just overall jerk to people. And it disheartened my heart. I was like, but I love him. I will love his work. I can separate it. Anyways, so when I ran across this YouTube video of Zachary's panel, he mentioned that he had gone to intense therapy because his mom had passed away, and he had changed his life dramatically. And I remember thinking, oh gosh, if he can do it, if he can change his coping mechanisms? I think I could. I think I could do that. And so I just started consuming everything that he's been in and produced and everything. And there was a podcast by Michael Rosenbaum. I'll put the link down here. It is adult content, so like there's swearing and anyways. But I listened to it and it was so good. It was so good. Zach talked about his mother and growing up in an abusive home and having to deal with that as an adult. And he started describing his own journey and how he hated himself. And the way he talked to himself in his mind, like when he went to this intense therapy, they asked him, would you talk like that to a friend? Would you say anything like that to a friend? And he was like, oh no, I would never say anything like that to a friend. And I heard that in my soul because my inner dialogue, just rough, cruel and unkind. Anyways, and so I was like, if Zach can change, so can I. So I started consuming all the self-help books I could get my hands on. In 1 year I read about 14, what's my last count? And anyways, just one after another, boom, 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 but none of them were really sticking. I mean, I would pick up little morsels here and, you know, apply them a little bit here or there, but I was just bumping along in my coping mechanisms because, you know, I wasn't harming anyone, I wasn't doing any damage. Like, I have a really great life, I have great friends, great family, great job, great parents. Yeah, so I was just like, yeah, I'm going to read all these self-help books and hopefully they'll just like soak in and I'll be a better person. Woohoo! Anyways, at the turn of the year of the new decade, 2020, I found myself in bed just crying because I hated who I was. I hated what I hadn't done anything with my life, and I hated the fact that my Phil, my dad, would never see my children. I don't have children. Will never see me get married. Will never see me like do all those socially expected life events because he most likely will pass away in the next year or two. So if I get a shotgun wedding, maybe, and adopt several children, maybe. There's hope. Anyways, I was just feeling real bad about my life, and we had a conversation with my nephew over the break, and he has struggled with his mental health, and he is a really awesome person and just the sweetest heart and just has a lot to give, and I love his face. Anyways, he's the cutest. And he came to his mom, and I was sitting at the kitchen table, and he was having this conversation with her about his mental health and about taking medication and all that jazz. And listening to him, I heard, you know, myself to say to him, well, you need to put things in place to help you maintain and create a healthy environment for your mental health. You know, checks and balances and professionals who can help you, kind of thing. And in my mind, I thought, I am just as lost as he is. Because I have been participating in this really detrimental way of living. I'm not living loved. So I was thinking, oh yeah, mental health. Zachary Levi talks about that, and I recalled this thing he said about how everybody has mental health. Everyone. Everybody has physical health, emotional health. Everybody has mental health. And the fact is, we all need to take the time to care for it. And if we don't, we run down paths that will hurt us eventually. Anyways, so I was just struck by it. And then about a week later, my nephew posted this face back. That's funny. Anyways, this Facebook post that said, I just realized that I have 0 healthy coping mechanisms. And I was like, so do I. I mean, I can't say in totality that I have 0. I mean, I have a large amount, but I also do have healthy ones. I'm not going out and like harming other people or anything, so yay. So I started praying really hard because that idea of like, oh right, these are behaviors that I'm participating in. I'm choosing to do this. And I started praying really, really hard about how I can live a life where I feel loved, you know, from myself. And I was led to this idea of starting a YouTube channel. And yeah, I was like, oh, a YouTube channel. It's really public. Ooh. But so I did. Obviously, here I am. And the reason why I'm doing it is because I want accountability in my personal life. And I want a place and a platform where I can return and report my personal journey. Anyways, I want a place where I can remember where I was and the journey, how far I had come. And so I was like, okay, I can do that, God. I probably could do that. I was like, so what am I going to say? And I was led to the idea of doing chunks of time where I focus on one of those self-help books. And I try to apply it in my life, and I return and report, and try to apply it in my life, turn and report. So I was scrolling through Instagram, and this post came up from a guy I follow called Diamond Dallas Page, and DDP. And it was about eating yams. And I realized that there was this guy who had lived a life that he loved, and then got severely injured wrestling. And then he started to engage back into his life and going down this journey of recovery. And he recovered and brought other people with him. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful idea. And I was like, this is what I'm going to do on YouTube for the next chunk of my life. I'm going to subscribe to his yoga program called DDPY Yoga. And surprise, there is a challenge actually already going on. And so I signed up for that as well because I thought, you know, I need a community. I need people to engage with. I need a platform to talk to people on about this journey. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. And so my goal or my commitment is to do DDP Yoga once a day and then post my workout on social media and then come back every Friday and return and report. I also got his book, which is awesome. It's called Positively Unstoppable. Tagline, The Art of Owning It. If I get nothing else out of this, then this idea of owning it or owning my own personal life, if I get nothing else, it will be worth it. So for the next 10 months, I'll be doing the workouts, I'll be posting, I'll be returning and reporting, and it's going to be awesome. I'm really thrilled. So come and join me, follow me, don't follow me. Know that you are loved. You are loved. And I hope you can find coping mechanisms in your life that are positive. And I hope that you engage in your life in a happy way. Anyways, because that's what I'm going to be working on. It's time to make 2020, this next decade, it's time to own it. And it's time to really enjoy my life. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.